Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the Institute for Small Islands. We are here with one of our members from our team in Kenya. Dianey, how are you? This is Caroline Mayer from the Institute for Small Islands, Executive Director, interviewing one of our team. Please introduce yourself and let's take it away. Go on.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Dianey Mugalizi from Kenya, a member of the Small Island Institute Africa, and I'm so happy to be part of the team. I am a youth environmental advocate, and we are doing so much as the Small Island Institute Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. And so, Diana, you've been very brave. You led a mission to oversee what was going on one of the forced evictions of an indigenous group, the Ogiek community in Kenya. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so I think for me it was a very horrible experience, if I'd say, because we had to go to the place where they had been evicted. This is a home for these people. It's been a home for these people up to even the 5th generation. These people have families in here. These people have been brought here. They given back to children here, and so they are being evicted. The communities that were evicted were the Ogiek community and the Maasai community, who are natives of the Mau forest, which is being said by the government of Kenya. It's now like a forest that belongs to Kenya, but again, it's a land to these people. It's their own homeland, their ancestral land. So up to 50 families have been evicted. They are now homeless. They do not have a family. They don't have food. They're just there trying to at least make ends meet, and they're still evicting more people. These people were not given any notice. They were not given any time to even get an alternative. The government is not even providing for them an alternative. So they're just there. They're just there. They're struggling to do everything. And when you look at the women have their own children. They are living like 4 women in a very small house with their husbands. Now think about the situation. It's very horrible. I think we need to stand up. We need to fight up, even if it's just fighting up for these women so that they can get somewhere where they can be, to a very safe space for them. It shall be a very good idea.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit more about these communities and who they are and what they mean in terms of the preservation of their culture and their stories and their knowledge.
Yeah, so these are marginalized indigenous communities in Kenya. These are people who are so much held on to their culture, and that is why they are in their now ancestral land. They have been evicted from the land. So they really mean so much to our Kenyan culture because they are helping us conserve the customs, the beliefs, the traditional norms that we had. These are people who have really held up to their own culture. So we use them to even educate our children because we have an example of them. And maybe I'll just say your own ancestral land, you cannot be evicted from it and you're not being given an alternative to it. Where will you go to? So I think it's something that we really need to think about it and support these communities.
So the mainstream world might not know so much about the Ogiek community. We've heard about the Maasai communities, and it's very famous in the mainstream. There's also the particular history of Mau and colonialism, and so how does all that work together in terms of this particular moment right now where they are facing a challenge to preserving their culture that has been really threatened over the years of settler colonialism, and now you guys are in an independent state. So how do you want to move forward as a Kenyan citizen? How do you think it should move forward?
Yeah, I think the Ogiek community are very important people. They are part of the 48 tribes in Kenya, and I think we really need to embrace them. We really need to be with them, and we really need to support them, because these are people who have really held down to their own traditional norms. We other people do not live to our traditional norms, but these are people who have held it down, and they are not just living even in the Mau forest as it's said by the government, but they are conserving this forest. They are taking part towards the conservation efforts by the government. So this should be a point that should just allow the government to let these people interact with the forest as they live around it. They are not living in the forest, they're just living around the forest. And so for them being told you are now living in a forest becomes so much difficult for them. And they've been taking care of this forest and conserving it. So it raises so many questions, and I feel like we really need to protect them.
Thank you so much, Dianey. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
One thing that I just say is most of the people who have been affected negatively in this situation are women and young girls, and we as maybe the Small Island Institute, we really need to come out strongly and support these women, because we need women for the continuity of life. We cannot do anything without women, and we need to give women at least safe spaces. We need to give them a good environment for them just to be able to be productive. And even as we talk about environmental conservation, women play a very vital and key role. So we really need to protect them and work with them.
Thank you so much, Dianey. Well, we're gonna take it from here, but we're going to come back and we're going to share some photos and some videos of what you saw and what you experienced there. So stay tuned, everyone. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Ciao.